In 1999, the police in Snowtown, Australia made a horrific discovery: 8 dismembered bodies in barrels. These killings became known as the Snowtown murders, one of the most famous cases of serial killers in Australia. These killings were attributed to James Flacassis, John Bunting, Robert Wagner, and Mark Hayden. What is most bizarre is that the victims were their family members or friends, and they were tortured before their deaths. Though the identities of some of the victims are known, some of them are still nameless. One of the victims, Ray Davis, was garroted with a rope and a lever after he had just taken a bath. Before Ray Davis died, they attacked his genitalia with clubs and beat them. His toe was also crushed with pliers just to make him suffer. Another one of the victims, Frederick Brooks, was given electric shocks to his testicles and a lit sparkler was shoved into his penis. Toes were also crushed with pliers and his nose and ears burned with cigarettes. Then they stuffed a rag into his mouth and let him choke to death. As everything happened, these men and other victims had to call their killers in different names, ranging from Lord Sir, God to Monster. There was also cannibalism involved. Before the police got wind of the murderous activities of the gang, the final victim was David Johnson, the stepbrother of James Flacassis. Johnson was lured by his stepbrother James to an empty bank building. There, Wagner and Bunting waited. Once Johnson was there, he was strangled, handcuffed, and required to record a script. He recited confessions and crimes that he had not done and provided financial information. This was also done to other victims. Wagner and James left Bunting with Johnson to try and access, without success, Johnson's bank account. When they came back, they found that Johnson was dead. Wagner was upset. He stated that they had not had fun with Johnson, so he took parts of Johnson's flesh, fried them, and ate them. Most of the bodies were disposed of in the same way. They were dismembered and buried in a certain manner. 8 remains were stored in a huge plastic barrel of acid in a shed. After the dismembered bodies were stored, Bunting would often go and see how they were doing. Nightmare ended when 2 bodies were found in the backyard of Bunting's house. It said that the gang of 4 killed at least 12 people. The court found that Bunting was the ringleader. He was handed down 11 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Wagner was sentenced to 10 consecutive terms under the same conditions as Bunting. James was sentenced to 4 consecutive terms with a non-parole period of 26 years. Hayden was sentenced to 2 consecutive terms with a non-parole period of 18 years.